All right, we're live.
We are live.
All right, so while Zero is setting up the game here, I want to introduce myself and my co-caster here, Lay. I am Jiraiya. Happy to be here. Thanks for the invite, Zero. Very excited about the BSL 2 vs 2 tournament. Lay, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hey, thanks for the intro, Jira. My name is Lei. I'm also a co-caster. When I first heard about BSL 2v2 coming out, I was jumping like a little kid. So really honored to be here today, and let's have some fun and share some love for some 2v2s.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So excited. There's so much hype with 2 vs 2. It's been a long time coming. I know behind the scenes, players like TT1 and Kenzie have been very strong supporters of pushing Zero to include 2 vs 2. And finally, we're here. I think it's been years in the making. I remember players like TT1 would talk about when 2 vs 2 would be available for ladder. And then that finally happened December of last year on ShieldBattery, which is the server that kind of replaces iCup, which is what a lot of us 2 vs 2ers or purists have used for 2 vs 2. And that finally happened. And now we're here in the tournament, in the largest foreign tournament organizer in BSL. So very excited. We're making huge headways here in 2 vs 2. So very excited to finally see some games and some movement in the 2 vs 2 scene. All right, sounds good. It sounds like we're ready for the first game. So it looks like we have Bonnet and Suzuki, very strong players here against another very strong team in Wave and Izu. And the first map is going to be Lay, keep me honest, Gemlong.
That's right, Gemlaw.
Let's get into it. So here we have Wave Protoss in the top left section, and followed by his ally, top right in Izu.
In the bottom, we have Bonith, a red Protoss at 5 o'clock. And we have Suzuki, his ally, orange Zerg, at 7 o'clock.
So it looks like we have a classic top versus bottom mirror matchup. Zergs are crossed from each other. The Protosses are crossed from each other. Lay, in these types of mirror matchups, particularly on this map, what kind of openings do you expect to see here from the Zergs and the Protosses?
Yeah, for the Zerg, they have to decide whether they want to go 1 hatchery or 2 hatchery builds. So either more Zergling oriented, like massive massling build, or
Right.
like an early tech, fast layer, get the mutas out. So we'll see what kind of builds they choose. I personally prefer having mutas out fast, especially if the map is like kind of large like this. And if you're
Right.
on the same side, you can be a little bit more, faster tech, and it'll take longer for them to get to you. So
Yeah.
I prefer 1 hatchery plays.
Yeah, I agree with that. I tend to like Muta as well in this matchup. Looks like we have a pylon first scout from Bonnet going straight to the Zerg here, and Izu open with an overpull opening versus Suzuki, who actually went 9 pull. So I guess we're gonna see whether or not Suzuki plans to play the 1 hatch or the 2 hatch. Cutting gas, getting the speed. So this will be a mass play from Suzuki. versus that one hatch Muta play that you had mentioned from the opposing Zerg and Izu.
Yeah, so Jira, if you are Izu in this matchup, how is it going to be different now knowing that the other Zerg is massing?
I think the most important thing here, so Izu is preemptively making this sunken. He did drone up to 11 drones with his overpool later first. His ally Wave is staying at home with his first Zealot. So in this spot, if I'm Izu and I see Suzuki's Lings coming in, I want to make sure my Lings are out on the map, fighting against the Protoss one-on-one. I'm going to trust my ally to be able to defend this himself. But the idea here is to be able to defend by myself and allow for my ally who's directly above Suzuki to be able to counter versus relying to play defensive to help me. So the idea, if I were Izu, is to defend myself, get my mutas up, not let my ally worry about me. So it looks like we have a large ground army here going towards Izu, while Suzuki is concurrently doing harassment against Wave. A lot of action already in this game.
Yeah, it already feels a little bit scary for the Wave Izu team. Only 5 Lings have entered in Wave's base, but it's basically have made him kind of isolated. Home. Yeah, so he plays no role out on the map. So let's see how well he defends. This is pretty decent defense from Izu, I would say.
I don't know. I think I question whether or not it would be better to sunken at home, because now there's 2 Zealots, a couple of Zerglings in his main. Let's see if he loses a drone here. If he can save his drone. Oh, that's a good pull. If these 2 reinforcements here.
Oh, he's gonna get that one.
That's a Bonnet Zealot. That is the perennial Bonnet Zealot, where he's going to snipe. If your drone is down to like 5 or 6 health, Bonnet will get it. That's just how it is. So during this time, Izu did cut gas. I wonder. So yeah, he's got 2 mutas on the way. He lost at least 1 drone. But with 1 hatch, you don't need too many mining. Bonnet already has goons out. Wave is forced with the delayed. Oh, we got Corsair from Bonnet. Very strong timing. Knowing that his ally is going mass in Suzuki, probably got at least 3 or 4, maybe even 5 probes from Wave. Probably smart to Corsair here. But yeah, Wave is starting to put the pressure down on Suzuki. He's got 6 slow Zealots, but Suzuki should be fine against this. He's got goon support. He's gonna lose an Overlord here to the 2 mutas. But with how much harassment that Suzuki was able to do with his first 6 Lings, it kind of spirals into this kind of awkward situation where Wave is stuck to make cannons. He's got way too many Zealots that weren't able to do anything early on because he was at home trying to defend himself against the harass. So we're kind of at this weird stage here where Suzuki and Bonnet are probably going to be able to regain map control. Izu's on 1 hatch Muta, so Corsair is probably going to be able to deal with air pretty well, would you say, Lei?
I would say so. One thing to note is that if I see a lot of people trying to push mutas when they are clearly losing air control. In that case, I think it's sometimes beneficial to just cut muta production, just keep upgrading Kara, and add a second hatchery and just push Lings, because he might, if he doesn't cut down the Corsairs he's not going to do any good in this game.
Right. Right. So, Suzuki actually is starting to tech to layer. He's got
Mm.
the two hatch. He's got 3 lings on the map, but I think Wave and Izu are gonna have a little timing here because Bonnet is going Corsair. That means he's not gonna have, a large ground army just yet. So Suzuki is going to need to defend against this. This is quite a bit of zealots here, but zealots are getting a nice surround on the left side from Suzuki. Corsairs are out. So like you said, this is kind of the part of the game where it's like, you're gonna lose your air against this kind of build. I wonder if Bonnet has +1. He's got +1 already. Jesus. Yeah, this type of counter from Bonnet effectively nullifies one hash layer. So it's very hard for Izu to be able to combat that with just one gas, and like you said, he's probably not even nearly close to getting that +1 carapace done. So it's real tough here, real tough spot here, I would say, for Wave and Izu.
Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting how Bonnet is making Sairs. Usually people kind of follow that up with Zealot, Templar-based build just because you lack a little bit of gas, but somehow he's has enough gas to go goons, range goons after Corsairs.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's Bonnet, he tends to be able to do things that other Protosses just aren't able to do. He's effectively one air, so I would say Izu is effectively not in this game anymore, and Suzuki is doing harassment with the very little amount of ground forces he has here, and he's also, it looks like he's taking his natural. So, and Bonnet is able to get a second base and get a robo. It's like, where is he getting all this gas?
Yeah, that's the answer right here. The Stargate is not running, so he made just enough to overpower and the mutas and make Izu use kind of keep him out of the game, and then he uses that time to just push goons and kind of delay range, and uses that money to expo because they have the map control. They can't come.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He planned for making a certain amount of Corsair, knowing that he's only going to need probably that magic number. What's the magic number, Lay, of Sair that you want to have with +1 that basically wins 7? 6 or 7?
Yeah. I usually, when I have like 7 Corsairs, I feel pretty confident I can win versus most Muta Scourge combo if positioned correctly.
Yeah, these DTs are going to be a little pesky, but not in time to deny the second base from Bonnet, and certainly, with observers coming out, they're going to be able to deal with this. I wonder if Bonnie and Suzuki are going to find a timing here to deny. Yeah, it's GG. Muta's already out. Very good game. That was a good first game to play. Good mirror matchup. I think Suzuki and Bonnet are just so strong, especially in their micro. Their multitask and their micro. It's real tough to play against that. Where if you get any of those lings up your ramp, you're gonna lose some probes.
Yeah, when I saw just one Zealot standing at the ramp and not really blocking with probes, like I knew like you have to pay a little bit for that, Like, you can't just be like against 9 full lings. Like, oh, I'm just gonna stand here and not expect any damage.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm playing against Suzuki and Bonnet, and I see a 9 pull open from Suzuki, I think if I were Wave, I think it would behoove him, at least for the next time, for game 2, to make sure to stuff that ramp.
Right. How many probes do you pull out to the ramp in that situation, Jira?
I would probably at least 3. Against a level like Suzuki, I think you're gonna assume to lose at least 1, and then you'll
Right.
have that second and third to sort of buy you some time before your second and third zeal pop out of your gateways. I'd probably
Right.
use 3 because, you know, I'd rather not take the risk of even letting 1 ling into my base.
Right. I've lost so many games just because like I could probably just use 2. They'll fill the holes, and then 1 probe goes down, and I don't like micro the zealot over enough to like cover, and then right in
Right.
that moment it just like slips in.
All right. Sounds like we're ready for game 2 here. The map is going to be Polypoid. So the first, so the round 1 map is Gemlong, and then the subsequent matches are decided by the losers. So in this case, Wave and Izu decided to go with Polypoid. Uh, so let's dive in here into game 2. Polypoid, how do you like that as a selection lane for a mirror matchup?
Mm, I haven't had too much experience with playing 2v2s on Polypoid, but it's a pretty big map. It has a
Yeah,
lot of resources. So
yeah.
a lot of times some of these games go like long, not just mid game, but long because like if you're on the same side and then if you're defensive, you can keep the game going for a while.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I guess I guess if I'm Wave and Izu, I'm thinking, okay, what's a map that's going to give me a little bit more time to stuff my ramp against Suzuki's links? uh, all right, here we go. All right, so the top right section here, we have Izu in purple, the Zerg with his ally. Bottom left, Wave in blue.
And at 11 o'clock, we have Suzuki, yellow Zerg. We have at 5 o'clock, we have his ally, Bonneth, red Protoss. So this is going to be a not the same side mirror matchup that we saw last game, but a diagonal. So this will be
Right,
interesting. So what's
right.
your mindset, Jiraiya, in this case?
Yeah, so if so this is a cross map situation here. The Zergs are sharing the same side on the top, the Protoss is on the bottom. Um I wonder if there's going to be any changes here. So it looks like, okay, so Suzuki is electing to do a 12 pool open. Izu is sticking with his overpool open. I would imagine he's going to continue to do that 11 drone style with the overpool. Wave is going to do his 2 gate and then scout. Bonnet elected to do a gateway scout this time. I think the mindset here is counter. I think I think in these mirror matchups, and I've recently been practicing a little bit more of ZP versus EP, uh, because Protoss is at this point they've scouted each other. Because Protoss is close to the Zergs, the opposing Zergs, so Bonnet is directly below Izu, uh, Wave is directly below Suzuki. Um, that means the Protosses tend to, I think, in this matchup, rally to the opposing Zergs and try to keep the Zergs kind of at bay. So if I'm the Zergs, I'm thinking, in the case of Suzuki, he's going for a 2-hatch build here. We're gonna see, oh,
Wow.
Bonnet with a drone snipe. This is a lot of players fear what we call in the 2 vs 2 scene the Bonnie probe. I think it's probably a thing in the 1 vs 1 realm as well, but. Um, Whenever a probe does do damage like this, significant damage, like killing a drone early in your mineral line, we consider it a Bonnie probe, and that's what we're seeing here in Iz's base. A freaking nightmare. He's supposed to have 11 drones right now, but he's only got 10. Uh, Not a good start for our blue team here.
So it looks like Wave is putting down a pylon at Izu's ramp. Now, I'm not sure if that means he's gonna cannon down because I don't see a forge yet.
Right.
That's an interesting.
And we're mining gas. We got the core. But Sunken is being made. Nice micro here. Nice jab stepping from Boneth. Okay, speed just kicked in for Suzuki and Izu. But nice hold here from Izu for now. We got one Zealot, very low on health. Found the opening. Oh, but they're gonna puncture this. Now we do have it sunk in Izu's main, already built. We're cutting gas, so I think they need a little bit more. Going for a drone kill. Okay, manages to save the drone. I guess the pylon was a fake.
Yeah, I'm not sure what purpose it really served other than losing a pylon.
Yeah. Now, Wave does have two Zealots at the ramp holding Suzuki in, but that will be broken. He's getting surrounded. Boneth is sending two Zealots into Izu. He's holding that ramp from Izu. Goons are out, but Wave is countering here. I like this play. This is a good play. Like I said, counter I think is the right way to play this matchup, especially if you can be confident that your ally is not going to die. So we got two Goons here. We got the Bonnie Micro against the Wave Micro. One Zealot going for the probe line. But being that Suzuki's on 2 hatch, there's going to be Lings either helping. It looks like Lings are coming to help. A couple of probes going down here, so pretty good damage. Third and fourth Goon is out for Bonnie. Let's see if he can get one more probe. That's a good probe harassment there. I think 3 went down, and he's got a Stargate. Interesting.
Yeah, I like how Wave sent his Zealots to Bonnet instead of Suzuki. Because, when you're... For Bonnet, his ally is behind on Muta, so either he has to push Goons to counter one hatch Muta or go Corsair. So he's not going to be just massing Zealots all game, so there's going to be timing when your Zealots can do some damage. So I think that was a great idea. But you're right. Suzuki went for a 2-hatch build and slower layer, which means he's going to have many more Lings.
Right.
So we'll see how he fends this off.
Yeah, Izu's gonna have to defend here. He's gonna have to defend. Looks like he's target firing the Sunken onto the Goon, or at least when it was in range. Now he's running. I like that play, knowing that he's dead, and his ally Wave is already in Bonnet's main. So I think there's a little bit of a timing here for Wave and Izu to be able to inflict catastrophic or game-ending damage to Bonnet. They're gonna have to double team. Looks like Suzuki's pulling Lings to help his ally. There are Corsairs here to deal with the Muta, but Corsairs are not good help against Goons. So we'll see what these Mutas can do. He's got to cut these Lings down. Okay, good engagement here from the blue. But it's too many Corsairs. He's got to run those Muta.
This could be game ending, but we just have to see a little bit more.
Yeah, I like the Goon count here. Zealot coming out for Bonnet. He's sniping down the Goons. Wave is sniping down the Goons here. But it looks like they will be able to fend this off. Now, Izu... Okay, so the 2 Mutas go down with the Scourge. There's 2 Corsair. Izu's still alive. And we got Goons on the map for Wave. I would think they're gonna have one more timing to try to either break Bonnet, which will probably be harder at this point, with Bonnet continuing to make ground units here. Mutas are engaging with the 2 Goons that Wave has on the map. Just buying a little bit of time for Bonnet to get his ramp secured. Izu is cutting gas. So he's cutting gas. He's making lings here. Which I don't know if I totally agree with that, but this is a tough spot for the blue team. This is a tough spot because Suzuki, you know, he's got such a strong economy. He more than doubles the drone count of Izu. He's got 2 hatcheries, so literally doubles the production. He's got mutas out. It's forcing Izu to make Spore here.
Yeah, you're right. At this point, the red team has pretty big advantage just because Suzuki has such a strong economy. There was a point where blue team definitely had this. That counter was certainly game-ending if they went a little deeper with the goons and just instead of hitting the gateways, they were able to hit off the probes and cut his probe down to like, you know, maybe a couple. That's enough to keep Bonneth out of the game to kill Suzuki because he's just on 2 bases and enough goons could have finished Zerg in that meantime, or Protoss. But
Yeah,
they didn't take that advantage, and Bonneth came back pretty quickly.
Yeah, but regardless, they're gonna go for it here, and Suzuki is gonna engage this head on. Lings are target firing the goons, knowing that the goons are what you want to kill here because he's got the mutas. Not a single goon goes down, so pretty good micro from Wave here. Izu continuing to make lings. Bonneth is starting to make towards the middle of the map, towards his ally. Overlord goes down, so he is supply blocked in Suzuki. Scourge is on the way, so this is a decent counter here. I wonder if, yeah, I mean, look at the reinforcements.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's tempting to go in and, you know, cause a lot of damage with those 6 or 7 goons, but I think his best bet is to keep them both at home. So have the reinforcement goons from behind. Yeah, see, he has like 7 goons.
Yeah.
He should have combined and then push Bonneth back into his base.
Yep.
And then go one or the other.
Yep. Yeah, because he kind of traded well initially against that Ling Muta combo from Suzuki. It's almost a win to pull back there and strengthen your army with the 5, 6, 7 goons that you had in your main for sure. Now, if we look at the supply, Wave still has the more units than Bonneth, but not by much. He's definitely got more probes. Suzuki, these Lings are going to be able to slip into. Decides to pull back here because he's getting harassed at his natural from Izu. Suzuki and Bonneth are launching a counter attack on Izu, knowing that he's on 1 hatch. Had to make spores. It's going to be light on defense. Izu is pinging his ally to counter the Protoss. So here, it looks like Izu is going to go down. This will be enough units to deal with this. But like you said, I almost wonder how this game could have played out a little bit differently if had Wave saved that initial army that hit Suzuki, because then this ball would be just that much greater.
Right.
But again, DTs are out too, so it's almost like, what can you do?
Yeah, that was perfect timing.
Yeah.
And even if Wave was able to finish Protoss, I'm actually not sure he's going to win against a 2-base Zerg with Mutas and Lings. He just doesn't have the right combo.
Right.
He's not going to be able to leave home, or else he's going to lose his main.
Yeah, so as this game kind of progresses, not looking good for the blue team. Let's just talk a little bit about Suzuki and Bonneth. So these two are actually obviously one-on-one players, very strong one-on-one. Bonneth obviously being the king and being the BSL champion, as well as the Russian cyber game champion. Um, but in terms of their 2 vs 2, I know that they've played together on Team Soul
Mm.
uh, for quite some time. So I've had a lot of people ask me, how good is Boneth and Suzuki as a unit? And I always say, I mean, they've been playing 2 vs 2 together in that BroodWar clan league. Um, so I never discount one-on-one players of that caliber who've been playing 2 vs 2 together to not be able to play with 2 vs 2. And quite frankly, they're probably the favorite, I would say, in BSL 2 vs 2. Um, you know, just with their strength. We got a GG here from Mizu.
Yeah, Wave is just not willing to give up. Look how many Dragoons he has. He probably thinks he can do something.
Yeah, and Suzuki is just just picking off the probes here. This is kind of a celebration moment of just saying GTFO, or in the Korean way, Naga.
Naga.
Um, but a lot of units. I understand how Wave feels here. I do not like to GG when I have this many freaking units.
Right.
We got the Observer out as well. Corsair was going for the Observer. Very interesting. Um, he did not have detection to kill that Observer. I think he attacked his own Corsair to do the damage that he did.
I didn't even
Bonnet
catch
is
that.
sick, man. Yeah, it took me a second to get that, but I was like, "Where's the Overlord?" Bonnet is sick. Uh, yeah, and he's got the ground army here as well. I mean, GG.
GG. It could have turned out different, but that was a clean game from Suzuki and Bonnet, relatively speaking.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think, I think, I think Suzuki and Bonnet are just such high caliber players. I say this all the time, and I think a lot of people agree. To be a good 2 vs 2 player, you could be very good at 1-on-1 and be very good at 2 vs 2, but you can't quite. It doesn't work the other way. Like, you can be a good 2 vs 2 player, but not be as good 1 vs 1. I think this is a good example of two very strong 1-on-1 players that also just coincide very well in 2 vs 2.
Right. I mean, to be a top rank 1v1 player, you have to have the mechanics and you have to have like understanding of the game to get to that level.
Yeah.
2v2s, I think, just because mass is king to a certain extent, and the right mindset will overcome any kind of flashy micros. So if you have a good mindset in 2v2s, like your mechanics might not be so smooth, but you can win many games. And I totally agree. The opposite is not true. 2v2 to 1v1. Some things carry over, but not all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, so that concludes match number 1. We have all of these matches that we're casting today are best of 3. So congratulations to Bonnet and Suzuki for taking down round 1 here against Wave and Izu. I'm good, Lay, if you are. It's up to you. Totally up to you. I'll defer to you.
But yeah, let's keep going.
All right. All right. So here's the... Yeah. Okay, so we have a look here at the map pool: Fighting Spirit, Python, Gemlong, Kazaras, Vermeer, Allegro, and Reverse Temple. But round 1 of this bracket will be Gemlong. When Zero's ready, we'll jump into game 2, which will... Okay, Zero's ready. So we're gonna jump into game 2 here, or match 2 rather, between myself and Banana. against Juanjo and Lucardi. Let's get into it.
Yeah. So, Jiraiya, I figure it might be a little bit blushing to introduce your own self. So let me introduce you this time.
Sure.
So at 11 o'clock, we have Red Terran. This is our star of the game, Jiraiya. And his ally, Banana, Yellow Zerg at 1 o'clock. And you can introduce the team on the bottom, Jira.
Sure. So we have Juanjo. Juanjo, if I'm saying that, I hope I'm saying that right, is the Zerg in the bottom right position, followed by his ally Lucardi, also Zerg, in the bottom left position. So we have a classic ZT versus double Zerg, top versus bottom on Gemlong.
Yeah, so Jira, so in this matchup, you're the Terran, so you're the only odd one out. Mechanic, are you going a factory build or Rax build?
Bio all day, man. Bio
All
all
day.
day. Bio all day, every day. It's what I like to do against double Zerg, especially if I know that it's double Zerg. Sometimes it can be a little bit awkward if you're against ZR or Zerg random and they just happen to get double Zerg, then I'm kind of in this position where, I need to tech, and if I don't get the scout on time, sometimes I'll mech against it. But my go-to is bio and, a pretty basic strategy of just make a lot of MM. It does pretty well against Zerg.
Right. A lot of times, I think, 1v1 players who just transition to 2v2s, they get confused, like all these like one base plays and running 3 or 4 racks off one base and just staying there for almost all game. You never do that in 1v1. It doesn't really work against Zerg, who like expands and pushes Muta out. But time and time has told that Bionic, Marina Medic, a staple in this matchup, even just on one base.
Yeah, for sure. It's one-on-one situations. You're like, when do I make my CC? Not quite, my friend. Not quite. But typically double Zerg against ET, you're gonna see like a 9-pull open, which we do see from Lucardi. A 9-pull speed open, which will be followed by a 2-hatch, second hatch on the ramp that we see here. He's going to be making lings just in case my ally in Banana was going to follow that up with a 9-pull as well. Being that the Zergs are right next to each other, he would be able to cut the opposing 9-pull lings. So speed is out. I do see that the speed is done. So at this point, we can deduce that particular Zerg is going 9-pull mass, and this Overlord is spotting the 12-hatch Expo from Juanjo and consistent drone production. So this is pretty standard, I would say, from what we're seeing here from the double Zergs. And, Banana here is 12-pull open. He's got lings fortified on his ramp. It's a nice concave here, hard to break, even though Lucardi has the ling speed. With 12-pull open, my ally is able to get the lings on time and be able to stuff his ramp, which is very important on these ramp maps, and be able to layer here. So I like the choice of what Banana did here, not making too many lings. He did drone a little bit after making the sunken. Here I'm just getting up to my 3rd rack. So far, very standard stuff.
Right. Do you like this kind of early layer build from Banana, or do you? Because if you get caught early layering, they can just push a little more lings and then try come up the ramp before sunken is done, and that could be detrimental. Wow, that's a lot of crit calling.
It's a lot of creep colony. If only you can warp one of them to your ally. Tough timing here for our blue team. Stim is not done yet. Stim is like 50% done at this point, but we do see a timing here together to hit this ramp.
Wow, that was a quick progression. What's amazing is Banana also speeded.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it would have been best if he kept his Lings there and just traded how many.
Yeah.
Because once Lings and your Marines combine, it's the blue Zerglings are pretty much useless unless there's Muta.
Right.
Well, let's see if Juanho can muster up some Mutas and at least finish one or the other. Might be hard.
Yeah, just a tough break for our blue team here. I think they were a little bit thrown off by my ally attacking the layer. Maybe they didn't expect an early skirmish or an early attack like this. So it kind of threw Lucardi off guard now. Mutas are out. He is on 2 gas. I do send a small support group here that's being totally whittled down here to my ally. But spores are up as well. So Muta is being made from Banana as well. So sort of the mentality at this point is just kind of don't die. You're gonna win. Just kind of play this out. As long as you don't die, should be a good spot.
Right. I see you're trying to combine the first group of Marines back into your base.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, when the Expo Zerg is making that many creeps, I mean, it's there's no, we'll give him that base. My ally is making Muta. Yeah. GG.
So as the opposing team, what would you have done differently?
I think there's I think Lucardi made a lot of Lings that with speed that wasn't able to do too much. I think when you're the 9-pool mass Zerg, it's really important to utilize your larva smartly. So what I mean by that is you can sprinkle in some drones here and there, but if you do decide to make as many Lings as you did, he needs to do something. Either contain Zerg in its entirety and force Terran to come help break him, or use those Lings to try to collapse on the Terran's initial army to whittle that down.
Right.
He chose not to do either, so I think when he pulls back and was thrown off at his sunken timing, it just it's because it's a lot easier for Zerg Terran to combine bio with Lings to be able to fight mass Lings like that. If you're the double Zerg, you're best off not allowing them to combine. So I think just a decisive, undecisiveness from the double Zerg team, or at least in the part of the Master, I think a little bit of a misstep there.
I perfectly agree.
All right, so Zero's ready. We're gonna get into game 2 of match 2 between Banana and myself against Juanho and Lucardi. The map will be Gemlong again. All right, let's get into it.
So this is again same side. Zerg Terran versus double Zerg. We have Jiraiya at 11 o'clock. Now we have his ally, Banana, at 7 o'clock.
I am just not smart enough to do the what do you call it, like military positions or whatever. I use top right or top left, bottom right or bottom left. It just makes my brain explode thinking about the o'clock positions. But anyways, we got Lucardi bottom right, in the teal Zerg. Looks like he's gonna do the 9 pull again, and then his ally in Huanwo, making the Overlord in the top right position. So this is a classic ZT versus ZZ, left versus right.
Yeah, I understand your uh, frustrations about the military timing. When you get to maps like Python, when it's not super clear, when somebody's like on the
Oh
bottom
my god.
left or bottom or
Yeah, my
left,
brain just
yeah,
explodes. He's over there.
yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah.
All right, we got 12 hatch expo from Juanwo, follow up from last game, and a 9 pull open from Lucardi. So identical to last game. And here my ally is uh this is a 12 pull drone situation. So this looks to be a one hatch. I know I played this game, but I don't recall exactly what happened. Yeah, when he makes that sunken there, you know he's thinking about one hatch shenanigans, right?
Right.
All right, we got Lings out. Lucardi sporting the 350 APM. Hopefully we can use that APM to good use here. A couple of Lings being made from Banana,
Hmm.
but he's got 11 drones. Interesting.
He made an extra drone after actually 2 drones.
Right.
So, let's say you're Juanho and Lucardi, and you see somebody going fast layer and creeping up to the ramp. What do you do?
I hate it. I hate it. It's a really smart play from Banana to do this. I think you need to be decisive. You need to decide on whether or not you're going to want to push that Zerg, because the layer timing of Banana will be quicker, if not, um, uh, yeah, it's going to be quicker than the 12 hatch Expo layer. Not by much, but it is. Um, yeah, so he's got the spire already down. I think Banana's mindset here, or it's being made. Excuse me. I think Banana's mindset with the extra drones was to have the economy to make these sunkens and push the creep to his ramp so that he'll be able to defend against any ground kind of counter situations. So
Right.
here, Juanho is electing to do the drone situation like he did last game, and Lucardi is on 7 drones here, so he continued to make the Lings, which, kind of like what we saw last game. It's and he's making the Evo. So this is like the worst case scenario if I was the Double Zerg team. To get back to your question, if I were Lucardi, I would make a choice, and the choice that I would make is I want to push this greedy one hash Zerg that's right next to me, and even tell my ally to make some Lings and force this this bottom left Zerg and Banana to feel a little bit of discomfort. But Spire's done. He's got the resources to make the 3 muta. He's hitting all of his timings. Tough spot here, I would say, for the Double Zerg.
Yeah, I agree. And it really forces the early spore, and if you don't do anything with your first links, then you're in a tough spot. But let's see if what he can do. A lot of times, when they realize they can't break the one hatch layer Zerg, I see some people going like Hydras, and just like droning. But I don't know. I don't know what your thought is. I still like pushing lanes just because it has faster mobility and your two hatch mutas are probably gonna overpower them at some point. So
Right.
well, it's good that
Yeah.
he's continuing linging.
Yeah. I mean, the problem here is, Lucardi's on 6 drones. He was on 5. He just made a 6. He's got to make the Spore. He's got to make the Sunken. Terran's on, 3 rack. Personally, if I see Lucardi, droning up and getting up to Hydra, I'm just thinking yummy, yummy in my tummy.
Yeah. Yeah. What's 10 Hydra gonna do, right?
Yeah. But like you said, 2 hatch muta, 2 gas muta rather, is going to be able to overpower obviously the 1 hatch muta. So the idea here from a ZT concept is to gain control of what the opposing muta can do. Do not allow him to isolate a one-on-one kind of situation, muta to muta. The MMs on the map, I want to be able to support my allies, mutas. So that's why I'm kind of posturing in the middle of the map here. And Banana at this point has 7 mutas, so he's confident to start inflicting some damage. Runs back when he sees the muta. I come to support. When I spot Huanhuo's muta in this location, I'm confident to send my reinforcements in my main. So I have some reinforcements coming as well. And I think this is sort of our timing here.
Right. In order for this game to work a little bit for the blue team, the mutas have to be out on the map. It can't be just sitting home and like you said, you send your reinforcements and there's no way they're gonna hold against mutas taking some buffer damage.
Right.
And Marines shooting from behind. So clean game from you guys.
Yeah, I would say so too. It was, I think, I think a little bit of a handicap situation. Double Zerg is tough. There's a lot of teamwork involved, and I think the overarching kind of concept, if you're Double Zerg against ET, is to not allow them to unite their armies like that. And you want to keep them in check. You want to give them a reason not to just full tilt like we were able to do in that final attack. So. Yeah, GG there, and Nan and I are able to get to the next round. All right, so I'm good, Lay. How are you feeling right now at this point of the cast?
I'm feeling good. My bladder is empty. I got my sparkling. Yeah, let's do it. Let's keep.
Yeah,
going.
let's do it. We're Zero. I don't know. We're Korean, so we got stamina for days when it comes to BroodWar content. Absolutely.
Yeah, we're probably gonna finish casting and then go play some 2v2s right after.
Yeah, exactly. And Zero's like, I can dig this. All right, so we have for our next match, Zerg Boy and Andy against Nooblish and Hissup. All right. So we're just going to jump right into match 3 here. Lay, are you familiar with these players?
I'm pretty familiar with almost all of these players except for Zerg Boy. I haven't seen him play too much.
Yeah.
But I know the other players and they're very decent players. So it should be a great match.
Yeah, for sure. I would think this is a So this will be a ZP versus ZP. Zergboy and Andy um, they've been playing together on ShieldBattery for some time now, so I wasn't surprised to see them allied together. Zergboy, just to kind of give a little bit of background on him, he's an OG. He's an original gangster of 2 vs 2. He's been playing 2 vs 2 for a very long time. Back in the iCup days, probably since like 2007, 2008 kind of thing. Um, Andy similarly has a ton of experience. I would say they probably have at least 35 years of BroodWar experience between the two of them. So very seasoned team here, and Nublish and Hysup or Hysup, excuse me if I'm not saying it right. I'm not as familiar with. I know that they play together, and they played for Team NA
Mhm.
as the A. They were like the USA Team A 2 vs 2. So very much looking forward to seeing how they're gonna stack up against Zergboy and Andy, who are also very strong. Um, so yeah, I would say this is probably gonna be a more balanced game, I would think.
Yeah, I'm excited for this match. I know Andy Nublish and Hysup. Like, I haven't met them, but I'm pretty close with them. So, I know their styles too. So it should be an interesting game. So let's
Absolutely.
get right to it.
All right, once again we're on Gemlog. Is that a typo?
Yem.
There should be an N before that G, right? All right, Gemlong. Sorry, I have like OCD when it comes to that. All right, we got Hysup, Zerg, top left, in the red color, and his ally, Nublish, in the white color, Protoss in the bottom left position.
And we have Andy, 5 o'clock. Zerg, is it blue, sky blue, light blue? Anyway, and his ally, purple Protoss, Zerg boy at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, we got another ZP versus ZP situation here. It's gonna be left versus right. The Zergs are across from each other, and the corresponding Protosses are across from each other. So I think similar to game 2 of the Suzuki Bonnie against Wave and Izu. You know, with the short distances between the Protoss and the Zerg, I'm thinking counter. I'm thinking counter. I'm thinking for my ally to be able to not die, be able to play defensive, um, and have Lings out, and look to counter.
Right. So we're seeing a 1-hatch fast gas opening from Andy, and it looks like he has droned an extra or 2, so he's not going
Mm-hmm.
to be able to push 6 Lings out of the larva, which
Right.
probably means he's going to press lair as soon as that gas hits 100. And as for Hysup, to show you the contrast, he just started his gas production, and he added a second hatchery, so he's gonna be massing Lings. If he tries to follow lair, he's gonna not be able to do anything. So
Right.
pretty sure Nublish is gonna try to fight against the mutas, and Hysup providing the mass Lings in the ground. But let's see what they do.
Right. Now, Zergboy did mention making cannon for his ally. Zergboy's initial Zealot, kind of checking out what Zerg's doing. if I were him, I'd be kind of thrown off that there's a Zealot here, to be honest with you. Oh, and Andy was able to sneak the 4 lings that he made into Protoss' base. So they're going to see that that the Protoss is early gas. So I think Andy's suspicion of the Protoss, the red Protoss, going Corsair is probably the right one. Now, with layer first, it's a nice little trade here. With layer first, I mean, Andy's speed is not going to kick in, but right away, but it does kick in now. So now he's got a lot of lings in the Protoss' main. So kind of like what we saw in game 1 with Suzuki and Wave. You know, these Zealots, the 5 Zealots that the red team has is not going to be able to leave the base.
Right.
Which is not good, right?
So are we seeing cannons being put down? Oh, that's an Expo cannon. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, really good job from Andy maneuvering here. I think he only lost 1 link, and he's definitely weakening probes. Let's see if he can get a nice little pick off here from the red Zerg. Gonna be able to clean this up now that he can match speed for speed. That must be Goon range.
That looks like a Stargate to me.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
+1.
Yeah, but it could be either, right? 3-gate goons.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. But I would suspect Andy's Spire is done by now. Yeah, mutas are on the way. This is a tough spot. A real tough spot for the red team.
This probably is the best move by Hysup at this point. He's just droning
Right.
and just gonna follow lair and wait until Nublish has air control, and then boom, he shows up with 7-8 mutas, wreaks havoc. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, I don't now these mutas, okay, so cannon is made, but the top part is not defended. Let's see if we can get some probe harassment here. Andy scouts the Corsair. I guess from a positive outlook standpoint, I mean the red team does have more peons, 15 drones from Hysup and 26 probes for Nublish, but oftentimes in 2 vs 2 that doesn't exactly tell the story. Like in 1 vs 1, I think it's more apples to apples. Like if one player has more peons than the other, it's pretty straightforward in it being an advantage. But in this case, it's a little bit deceiving because the opposing the blue team, they might not have as many drones and probes. They certainly have you know, the right tech. They have the right defenses, and Andy is going to be able to get up to 2 gas momentarily. So we'll kind of see how all this stuff shakes out for the red team. But I agree with you. I mean that's probably what they should be doing at this point. You know, the trade-off of having the slow gas for the red Zerg is to get the ramp. So that's a good thing, meaning he can secure his ramp and he won't die so easily against the opposing blue team. But basically the red team needs to drag this game and try to find a timing, I would think.
Yeah, that's right. But depending on how quickly the Corsairs can control air, because once he gets some carapace upgrades and 2 gases running, he might not be able to win. So we'll have to see. And I think important thing for Hysup is to just because he has so many you call them peons. It's been a while since I've heard people calling drones or probes peons, but that's kind of cute. But he's going to be able to make a lot of lings. So if he runs out of gas, he better make some lings to support this timing attack they're preparing. So it looks
definitely.
Looks like Nublish has got like 8 or 10 zealots. Probably will have speed at some point. And once he has 7 or 8 Sayers, they gotta go with some mutas behind.
Yeah, the Protosses are pretty close in food, or supply, and the Zergs are quite close as well. Now Andy does have +1 Carapace done and +2 on the way. +2 is kind of like that magic number, you know, when you have +2 Carapace, you're not scared of anything. You've got like this nice combo attack here.
Yeah, this is great.
Able to punch the drone line here from Andy. Very nice attack here, actually. This is a nice timing they're finding here. Andy's forced to have to engage this, but I don't know. Does nice connects on the Corsair. But still, yeah, and all those mutas are damaged. The gate, the front of that natural. Okay, so Goons will be able to get through, so that's good. Zergboy is able to come and support. Oh, and look at this ground army from the red team. It's pretty sizable with the Lings, as well to help with this composition. And Zergboy getting his Zealots surrounded.
Wow, that's a good trade.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, definitely starting to feel the momentum swinging in Red's favor. Now they're gonna try to punch and deny Zergboy's natural from coming up. A Zergling Muta combo with the Zealot legs, Corsairs to support. Mutas are coming to help. There's only 2 Corsair. Now, they see that there's not much on this ramp, and Zergboy does have goons being made in his production. He's got goons behind there as well. I wonder if they're going to just be able to break this. Andy's mutas are very low, only 3 Corsair, but should be enough to deal with this. It's a decent amount of goons from Zergboy coming in to help himself. Overlord's being taken down. Zerglings are going to go straight into the probe line, forcing a cancel on that cannon. Nice attack here, very nice attack here. But Zergboy's army is starting to compile up. Nice trade-off here too. Got a couple of probes. They're gonna be able to clean this up. But the food is still in Red's favor. Or okay, Zergboy does have more food or more supply. He does get his Nexus started, and the Red Zerg is continuing production. Spire was remade in a natural from Andy, and he's going straight back into +2 again. But I would say that was probably a pretty good, nice little combo attack there, hitting Andy and then going straight for Zergboy and denying his expo.
Yeah, I think there are 2 key moments. One was that attack at Zerg's main. That was great. I think the high sub Nublish's approach of letting the Corsairs fight on their own, like,
right.
Because I remember him losing like maybe 4 or 5 Corsairs. If he didn't lose those Sayers, this game could have been just over there. But having lost those Corsairs, he has to rebuild them, and then he had to like put more resources into that instead of ground army. So now the game is interesting because it's not one-sided, but it could have been very one-sided starting there. And surprisingly, Zergboy didn't take that much damage. Like, he didn't lose any probes, he didn't lose that many dragoons, maybe lost a couple of buildings and had to cancel a Nexus. But
yeah, right.
Still with 2 Hachimuta, and if they deny the Zerg's expo here, the game's on.
Now Protoss does have a second base operational, so I would say the trade-off of losing the red expo, the red Zerg's expo, but being able to keep the Protoss expo is probably in the red team's favor. Now Andy's mutas are starting to compile, so not surprisingly, we do see the red ground units pushing the blue ground units. and Andy's Muta is being able to push the air, but they're not going to be able to kill this second gas from the red team. And the red Protoss is continuing to make the Corsair. Now that he's got the 2 gas, he's going to be able to support pretty much whatever he wants. So I would give the edge slightly to the red team, being that Protoss does have a second base up, even though it does look a little bit alarming in that Andy's Muta count is starting to rise with +2 on the way. I would think a Templar tech follow-up from the red Protoss to build some Archons and maybe even a DT. I mean, we got Speed Obi from the red team. I wonder if Speed is being made for Andy. DT might be good, followed by some Archons. Yeah, we're just gonna have to see how this plays out. But the red Protoss, I would think, needs to hit a timing where he's got, strong upgrades and a sizable ground army, which currently he doesn't have.
Right. And you were right. Zerg's Expo is not as valuable as Protoss Expo. So
Yeah.
I think counting how big the Protoss is much more important than the Zerg. But Andy, he has a great Muta Micro, and he knows how to deal damage. So he could single-handedly damage Protoss enough, because there are no Corsairs on the map, and Archons can be sniped with goons. So I think they have a superior unit combo at the moment, and losing some of these zealots that are just like not doing that much damage, he needs like a bigger group of army, or else Protoss might actually lose their Expo too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Z-Boy's army, Goon army is definitely starting to compile. He's got the +1 attack upgrade done. This base should go down. Is it Nooblish is the Protoss, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, totally agree with you. He needs to. Yeah, those goons, like you said, is going to be able to easily snipe that Archon down. It's almost better to just sack this natural base and allow for Nooblish to make his army bigger, get a bigger ball going.
Right.
Because one Archon is not going to be able to. It doesn't cut the mustard against this composition.
Right. I mean, Nooblish has a great setup here, but the power comes in the composition, and the composition wasn't good enough to really make a strong impact. So now Andy has 2 units of mutas, so this is going to be very hard.
Yeah, +2 is done for Andy. That is like the I don't know if we censor this thing, but when I have +2 Muta, Lay, I don't know if you feel the same way, but I get like this strong, big dick energy with the Muta. Like I feel like I can do anything when I have +2, like Valkyries, Corsairs, you name it. I'm ready to go when I have +2 Carapace.
Right.
Even against +1 Corsair, it just they don't die. They don't die when they have +2.
Right. And who's scared of cannons when you have +2?
Right.
2 groups of mutas.
Oh, he's got 2-1 no less.
Oh my.
Yeah, the pendulum is definitely. Yeah, GG. We got the GG from the red team. That was close. That was really, really close. I didn't expect that kind of 2-pronged multi attack timing there from Hyssop and Nooblish. That definitely surprised me, and I wonder if just a few better decision making moments would have swayed the victory in their favor. I wonder if just if a few things went their way, they would have been able to pull that off. But definitely a competitive match for sure, as expected.
Right. That was a close game.
All right, so we got Zergboy and Andy taking match 1 of a best of 3 against Nooblish and Hisup. So we'll see what the loser team in Nooblish and Hisup will choose for a map for match number 2. All right, we just got the notification. The map will be Allegro for match 2 of game 3 between Zergboy and Andy against Nooblish and Hisup. Let's get into it.
So we have a cross map going here this game. We have Nooblish up at 11 o'clock, Yellow Protoss, and his ally, Hisup, Red Zerg at 5 o'clock. We have Andy, Purple Zerg at 1 o'clock, and his ally, Zergboy, Olive, is that the right color? Olive color, Protoss, at 7 o'clock. So another mirror matchup. Jiraiya, so what's your thought on this map, Allegro?
It's like I feel like this map, you know, there's certain positions that are a little bit more advantageous than the others as Zerg in terms of where you can make your creep. So like in this case, Nooblish in the bottom right section of the map, his ramp is going to be on his left side. So here I do like the distance of the creep to be able to extend pretty quickly. All you need is just the one creep, and then you can plant your second creep basically on your ramp. So I would give a slight edge in that position to behoove me to make layer and go muta if I were him. Whereas in Andy's position, it's a little bit not as close in proximity to the ramp. But you know, things like that I kind of think about on this map. This map is not, you know, it's kind of like a fighting spirit to me. It's not overly huge, but it's not overly small either. This will be another cross map situation, so I'm continuing to think counter, counter in this mirror matchup. So it looks like Nooblish is going to elect to layer this time without the delayed gas. Maybe because of the positioning here, he's going to be able to make that creep and extend. So very good from Nooblish here. Nice little probe harassment from Z-Boy, denying that sunken. And Andy's got that 4-lane timing on the way, and we'll see if he's able to do anything with it. But oh, Hisup's got 12 drones. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a danger timing. You should have at least made four Zerglings.
Right, because Andy's been doing the 4-lane, but he did 6-lings this time, so this probably threw him off guard. He wanted to cheat a drone, but this is the repercussion of cheating drones blindly. So Andy opened with the 6-lings instead of the 4 like last time, and he's got speed already done. So this timing is very dangerous for Hisup and the red group. Creep is done, but no lings. Nice micro from Andy. Drones being pulled. Trying to micro the drones here. A Zealot is here as well. It's gonna drill this. The sunken will be made, but at what cost? At what cost? 3 Zealots are here now, down to 3 drones. The sunken is almost dead.
Yeah, I wonder if he didn't scout, or you know, usually in that position at 5 o'clock, you would send Overlord to 1 o'clock. So he should have seen 6 lings coming out.
Yeah, no, an Overlord there. Whether the Overlord was on vacation or not is a different story, but he definitely, you know, was able to see what Andy was doing and Andy even managed to get 4 Lings into the Protoss's main as well. So yeah, this is looking real grim, and a huge misstep from our red team here in reading and reacting to what the blue team was doing.
Yeah, 4 Lings would have bought the time, and then the 2 behind,
Right.
and as long as he kept pushing Lings, he would have had time to sunk and keep it at bay at ramp. But wow, that cost the game.
Yeah, there's no coming back from this. There's 6 Zealots in his base, which is more drones than what Red has, the Red Zerg has. At this point, Andy knows that Z-Boy will be able to mop up or clean up the Zerg himself, and able to pick off some probes. Gas just started for the, yeah, GG. Oh
Yeah,
man, that was too bad. I feel like you know, they in a pressure situation when you're down 0-1 and you need to win match 2, you know, sometimes you know, this happens to me, like personally. I sometimes choke a little bit, and I overthink, and I sometimes miss things that normally, you know, you want to be able to identify, like, you know, having an overlord at Andy's main and seeing what he's doing. Sometimes, especially in mirror matchups, you can kind of get into this repetitive flow of kind of doing what you usually do and overthinking, or I guess in this case, not thinking enough. You know, the fundamental just read and react kind of thing. Unfortunately, that's how the cookie crumbled in this match 2 matchup between these two teams.
Yeah, it's easy to think that in 2v2 you can scout less because you just have a greater map visibility. But it's probably just as important as in 1v1 matchups to see exactly what your opponent's doing and to match your builds, to push how many Lings that you to have enough to defend. So I think that game can be summed up to, you know, having an awareness of the map and not overcommitting, right? There's no build you have to do, right? Like there's no magic build. There
Right.
might be more efficient builds, but it's all about reading the map and having a good sense of where to be and what to make.
Right. Yeah. You always want to be able to pivot. You know, you might have a pre-concept prior to the game in terms of your build order, but really you should defer to what your opponents are doing, and then optimally react to that and be able to pivot from what you originally had planned. So
Right.
totally agree with you on that. Uh, so Niblish, Zergboy, and Andy are gonna take the best of 3 match here against Nubush and Hyssop. And we got one more match coming up here. Couple of BSL personnel in this one too. And I don't know too much about Zero and Seriosity's 2 vs 2 play, but I'm very intrigued on how this is going to play out. So we're gonna get to our final match here in just a little in a little bit. We got Jonic and Zero against Rancor and Seriosity. Before we jump into this, Lei, do you have experience with either of the 2 groups here, 2 teams?
I've been seeing Jonic more often on ShieldBattery. I think Curiosity has been playing on and off on BattleNet and more recently on ShieldBattery.
Yeah.
Um, but Zero, you know, I haven't really met you on the ShieldBattery too often, but you'll show off your skills today. We'll be.
Well, I will say your ally Zero in Jonic is is an OG. He's an original gangster. He has been playing StarCraft 2 vs 2 for a very long time. He's a very seasoned veteran of 2 vs 2, and uh, certainly a top tier Terran to be playing with. So definitely a good matchup here with Zero, who's got a strong one-on-one background. Um, Looking to see a competitive match, and Rancor, Seriosity's ally, is also similarly a long-standing 2 vs 2 member as well. So I think with Seriosity and Zero not being as experienced in 2 vs 2, but having sort of a strong uh, associate ally in Jonik and Rancor that are very accustomed to 2 vs 2. I think this should be uh, uh, a making of a good match. So Zero, whenever you're ready, let's jump here into match 4. Zero is ready, so let's get into it between Jonik and Zero against Rancor and Seriosity.
So Jira, would you be able to introduce us to this map?
Yeah, this is Gemlong or Gemlong. As any- I don't know who's more anal about spelling errors, me or Lei. I didn't even catch that one this time. So Zero has corrected that onto the image here. We have Gemlong, which is the first game map of the round 1 of this BSL 2 vs 2. We have Seriosity in blue. I'm just gonna say blue, top left. Terran and Zero, our founding father of BSL. Zerg in brown in the top. Oh, Seriosity. Oh, Rancor. I apologize. I'm getting ahead of myself. Rancor. My apologies. Zerg, brown, top right, going over pool.
And on the bottom side of the map, we have Zero, the real star of this game. I can't believe you messed that up, Jira. But so we have Orange Zero on the 5 o'clock, and we have his ally Jonik at a red Terran at 7 o'clock, and looks like he is teching up.
Yes, we have a a classic ZT versus ZT, top versus right, top versus bottom. Oh my goodness, I think I had one too many beers last night, so my apologies. But another mirror matchup here, ZT versus ZT. I would say very much like ZP versus ZP. It's a very tit for tat kind of situation. A lot of counter situations. So I'm curious what we're going to open here as Zerg. It looks like, and keep me honest here, it looks like Rancor is the overpool layer first build with one hatch situation, and Zero elected to go a 12 pool. So that's going to help him get the second hatchery up quicker on his ramp, but he also made the gas, so it's not a delayed gas situation.
Looks like Zero went with a speed first build, so
Yep.
there's gonna be a time when he might be able to push prior to the Mura's popping.
Right.
But yeah, this one hatchery versus two hatchery, it's been the biggest discussion and in ZT matchups. Like what's better? What are the pros and cons? The obvious pro of going one hatchery is you're gonna have fast mutas, but also you have relatively fast speed. It's just that in mid game when you're have to mass produce lings, you're not gonna be able to do that on one hatchery. As opposed to two hatchery builds, you'll have many more lings, but your mutalisks are gonna be slow. And in the vulture ling timing, You might have to show off some flashy micro to defend. So we'll see about that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Now, Rancor does have a decent amount of lings. He does have a Marine sitting on the ramp with him, followed by a Vulture in support as well. So I think this is a good reaction to seeing Zero's opener here. Zero's going to check out the ramp. He does see that a Vulture and a Marine is already there. The question is, how many Vultures is Curiosity gonna make? Looks like he made 3 in total. He's got 2 in his base, and he's doing the 3 supply depot. So that is ling tight. That is ling tight. Lings will not be able to get through that wall. He's got Goliath as a follow-up. So I think this push here is gonna be tough to break. Curiosity's smart to sort of pivot his vultures a little bit further back. Jonic did make 3 vultures as well. He's going to pick up a couple SCVs here, but the Goliaths are out, so that will be able to effectively thwart this attack. Rancor pushing his lings. He elected to make speed as well. Mutas are on the way. So the quick mutas are going to be in play here. Zero is making the spores, and Johnny is smartly sending his first 2 Goliaths to his ally, knowing that the mutas will get there. So that's a perfect reaction from Johnny. Now the question is, how many drones will go down from Zero? 1 goes... No drones yet. 1. 2. Okay, so the Goliaths are here. 2 drones going down. Not horrible. Not bad.
That was 4.
That was 4?
Yeah, I think I saw him pick up 3rd and 4th.
Oh, that's... Alright, so we got a counter here from Zero. The ramp is secure. Okay.
So what's your mindset in this situation? What do you think each team has to do?
Yeah, and we have a second hatchery going down for Rancor. He's already got 7 mutas. They're on full tilt. They got map control. You know, if I'm Zero and Johnny at this point, I want to be able to defend myself. If I'm Zerg, I want to defend myself, but I have the support of the ally. They're gonna push here. So this is a pretty sizable army here. It's enough mutas to be able to force the Goliaths to fight the mutas while the depot gets taken down. It's a tough situation. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't think they could come up the wall. Are the 2 Goliaths still, 2 or 3 Goliaths still at 5 o'clock? Is that why he didn't have enough?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He sent 4, so that he was split. Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely good maneuvering from the blue team, knowing that the blue Zerg in Rancor was going to get his mutas up quicker. It forced Johnny to send some mutas to Zero. I think in general, and if you look at like higher level, like Korean players playing this matchup, they all go 1 hatch muta, and the reason for that is, you know, situations like this where the game flow was in the favor of the quicker tech team. I mean, Zero and Johnny did have a timing, or at least their decision to, and we got a GG here. I don't necessarily hate the idea of going speed first. If I'm the 2 hatch Zerg team, but the result of that is you need to be able to inflict or at least break the ramp of the opponent, and I think Curiosity and Rancor reacted perfectly with the Marine support and then the subsequent Vulture to sit on that ramp. Rancor made enough lings to be able to hold his ramp with that support, so it was a perfect counter to what Zero and Johnny were looking to do, which was to inflict some early damage. So very much like, you know, ZP versus ZP in these mirror matchups, it's very tit for tat. And sometimes when you make a certain decision and it's being countered by a perfect counter, as what we've seen from the blue team there, you know, it's hard to come back from.
Yeah, that's a good assessment. We'll see how the next match pans out.
Yes. Okay. Did you say what is the second map? Zero? Oh, Legro. Okay. Okay. All right. Zero is ready here. Round one or match one goes to Rancor and Seriosity. So we're gonna jump into match number 2 of this best of 3 series between John Egg and Zero against Rancor and Seriosity on Allegro. Let's get into it.
So we have Zero here, Gray Zerg at 11 o'clock, and his ally, Jonic, on the same side on the left, 7 o'clock, Red Terran.
We got Rancor, Zerg in the white, bottom right position, a good position, as we kind of talked about in the previous games, in terms of the creep, and Seriosity, green, top right, Terran. So yeah, left versus right, ZT versus ZT.
Okay, Rancor is saying 9 pool now. So we're gonna see a pretty aggressive build from him.
Yeah. Zero is 9 pool as well. Very standard stuff from the Terrans here. They will be meching. It's just a question of, are they going to 11 gas or are they going to 12 gas? That's sort of a distinction point that you often see with Terran, but for the most part, they will be going mech. Whereas on the Zerg side, with a 9 pool open, there's kind of a lot of different ways that you can play it. I know that some players like to go layer first with 9 pool. They would make the 6-lings, make the layer, and squeeze in a couple of drones here and there. If you're going more of an aggressive style, you're going to go speed first and pull 2 drones off. In the case of Rancor, it looks like, yeah, so Zero is 9 pool drone with layer. I love to see that. Whereas Rancor is 9 pool mass. So that's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out. Oh, okay. So he put 2 drones back onto gas, Rancor, but he made the speed first.
Yeah, this is a good idea because Zero's at a pretty favorable spawn position where he can just probably 2 creep onto the ramp.
Yep.
Droning up, and this could be a viable build. But it does give up control, so it's good that he doesn't link too much, and have that balance of putting out the mutas in time, but have enough to sustain his eco and to be secure at ramp. But because you know the Marine, Lings, or Vulture combo is coming within the next few minutes.
Right. I'm loving Zero's Spire timing. You want to get in that 310 to 320 window. I think he planted his at 318 or 319 or so. Second creep is on the way for the ramp here, and he's got enough drones mining. So I would like to see Zero make a few lings there just to pad that ramp. You want to be able to stuff that ramp. I'm gonna be saying that a lot if I continue to cast these 2 vs 2 matches. It's just a very important concept, especially on ramp maps, to be able to stuff your ramp. So yeah, I'm really liking Red's position here, and I wonder if Rancor canceled his speed, or okay. So we got Curiosity pushing here with a Vulture. He's gonna see that there's a sunken already built. Zero elected not to pad too many lings, and it's gonna pay off because that early pressure that you were speaking of, Lei, it's not happening.
Right. He decided to cut some ling production and even make an expo. So that's a questionable judgment, but because I think they lost the timing to go up the ramp now. So
For
they're
sure.
going to be behind in Mutas, so they're going to have to make up with Goliaths.
Now Rancor does have Ling speed. His Spire will be done, and obviously in a cross-map situation, Zero's Mutas is going to take some time to get to him. So when Rancor says, give me your first 2 Mutas, or Goliaths, it's to be able to defend against this early 3 Muta push. But it takes time, you know, the cross position, it's the maximum amount of time it takes. So these Goliaths will come to help defend Rancor. In the meantime, Rancor decided his Spire is done. He's going to make the Muta. Let's see if Zero can get a couple of drones here. I think if he can get 1 drone, that'd be a huge win. Yeah, nice. We got the drone. We got the followed by a Johnny Vulture time in here in the natural. That is huge. That is huge.
That was great. Alright, now this is Muta versus Scourge UMS. Have we been practicing that? The patrol?
Yeah, I find it harder. I mean, you can do it with 3. I mean, my Muta Micro is absolutely trash, so I need I'll feel comfortable when I have 11.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, 3 Scourge? Okay, I need 11. Alright, we got a little middle attack here. Mutas are out, Goliaths are out. Good positioning from the blue team. They got the Arc, they got the Ling. Johnny is pushed back a little bit here. Zero's got more Mutas though. Zero is doing a nice job fighting these Mutas and isolating them. Whereas Curiosity is doing a good job of isolating the Goliaths. He's got the Arc for sure. I think we need to pull back for the red team. He's going to pick off the straggler Goliath there, Zero. But Blue's going to have more Goliaths, less Muta. Zero's got a nice Muta count now. Now he's got enough to confidently go in with that energy and pick off the rest of these Goliaths here. So I think electing to go the 1-hatch route for Zero is definitely going to play better to his strengths, because his Muta Micro is looking pretty sharp.
Yeah, that was also a good place to engage for the red team. They were behind in terms of unit count, at least the number of Goliaths, but the reinforcements were able to quickly come because we're on the left side of the map, whereas it's much farther for the team on the right. So yeah, I thought they're gonna lose the battle there, but the reinforcements turned the game. But you know, coming out ahead in Mutas after the fight, even if you lost the battle in Goliath, that guarantees that Rancor is gonna be dead 10 seconds after. So so it's an interesting matchup. I think, you know, in addition to ZPZP, ZTZT is one of a kind. I think like some people hate it because like, oh, it's just Goliaths and Mutalists, but there are a lot of nuances to this matchup.
Yeah, Zero's gonna come in for a backstab here into the Curiosity's SCV line. I mean, this is kind of what happens when the Muta is in advantage here. It forces the blue team to send Goliaths to his ally, knowing that his ally has less Muta. So then it leaves, you know, the mineral line open like this for Zero to do the damage. So very nice play from Zero, getting that sense. But hold on, we got we got Johnny in the middle of the map. He got questionable decision there to be solo in the middle of the map while Zero is effectively killing the Terran. He's going to lose another 2 Goliaths here, so Johnny lost a very sizable portion of his overall army. Now Curiosity is pretty much dead. He's down to 1 SCV. That's not even going to be mining. But Zero has a ton of muta. I think this is sort of it. This is the move that they need to do. Then they need to kill
Oh, don't let
Terran.
him up. Don't let him up. Oh no. I would have just built like an eBay or something.
Right. Well, this is a lot of Goliaths though for Johnny still. His macro
Yeah.
is very sharp this game. He's pulled his SCVs here. Yeah, Curiosity is not going to be able to break this. I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's. Yeah.
That could have potentially changed the game, right, Jiraiya?
I mean, it's tough. It's always tough to be able to break a Terran, and I think the even though Johnny just was totally caught with his pants caught on down, like look at this muta count from Zero. This is a ton of muta. I mean, yeah, ton of muta from Zero. He's gonna be able to decisively win here.
Yeah, he had only one way forward, and that was to break the ramp with after having eaten those army in the middle. But once that was blocked, it was decisive.
Yeah. I think what Johnny was thinking was, because my ally is deep within Curiosity's mineral line, he assumed that Curiosity was going to pull back and didn't expect them both to be in the middle, so he was kind of caught off guard. But alternatively, he was also macroing very hard. So oftentimes, some Terrans, if they're microing their army in the middle of the map, they might not be hitting their macro cycles, and as a result, might die to a timing like that. But Johnny had his factories lit up. He's a vet, and we got a GG here. Really good game.
Very good game. Yeah.
I really like the decision making from Zero and Johnny. I think the one hatch play from Zero definitely suits him better, and certainly paid back in dividends for making that decision. That early skirmish, that decision to send the vultures while Zero was hitting the main with the 3 mutas. I mean that was definitely the game changer, the game changing moment.
Right. And are we down to our last game?
I think so. So it's tied up, right? We're at 1-1. All right.
Gonna be a nail biter. Get ready.
Yeah, it doesn't get more exciting than this. We got 1-1 going to our final match here between Jonik and Zero against Rancor and Curiosity. All the chips on the table. This is it. So we'll see what Rancor and Curiosity decide to choose in terms of the map. Okay. So Zero is saying it's Fighting Spirit. And he's ready to go.
I'm ready when you are.
Yeah, let's get into it. All right, we got Rancor Zerg, top right position in yellow on Fighting Spirit. Followed by Curiosity in blue, top left Terran.
And at bottom right, we have Jonik, a red Terran, and his illustrious ally, Zero, purple Zerg at 7 o'clock. So this is probably our most played map of all time, 1v1 and 2v2 included.
Yeah.
Jiraiya, is this your favorite map? Or do you have
Dude,
another map that you love?
no, no, no. Like I know some one-on-one players who are like, oh, let's get rid of Fighting Spirit. Like I hate Fighting Spirit. This is my map. This is the map that I love playing. I'm like a Fighting Spirit purist. I love this map. I think it's very balanced. I've had probably way too many hours than I care to confess playing this map, lifetime wise. But you know, I love this map. I think it's very balanced for all matchups. And as a Terran player, I know how to make a link-proof wall on all positions. So I think that's probably playing a role into why I like this map.
Right, some maps they're so tricky for Terran, like here holes here and there. I mean, given the 1 o'clock position, it's not the ideal, but it still like works. You just have a diagonal corner you have to cover. But yeah, this is a great map for anyone who wants to get into the 2v2 scene. Like Python is like very popular map, 2v2 map in Korea, but it has a little more, you know, depth to it in Python. They're shorter rush distances. But a fighting spirit would be a great one to start off and just get a bearing of how 2v2 generally works. So getting back into the game, we have 6 links popping out from 1 o'clock. Looks like this is a 9 pool.
Yep.
And looks like both teams are layering, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yep.
similar layer timing. Oh, so that's a drone. That's a cool move. So people generally get scared after seeing 9 pool and 6 slings. Like, oh my goodness, like I gotta defend. But it's important to see what they make after those 6 slings, because if they're making drone, they're looking at a longer game.
Right. Yeah, and Curiosity is doing a good. I mean, Johnny is doing a good job of scouting with the SCV to kind of keep a tab on that link count, and most importantly, you know, is speed being made. So he might have not been able to exactly see the spire timing here, but at the very least, he knows that. I would think he knows that it's not quite like a full, you know, Ling kind of early situation with Ling speed, because I don't think Rancor made Ling speed, or did he? Yeah, he didn't make the Ling speed. Oh, he did. Okay, so that's gonna kick in right now. But it was layer first, so his spire timing is slightly quicker than Zero's here, but you know, cross map, you know, Zero's not in any danger of dying to the first 3 muta. So it's a tight situation here. I would have preferred Lei if Rancor didn't make speed in this situation, because kind of like what you said, with when you see those early lings, you do kind of, it does kind of keep you in check and makes you kind of, you know, get your Sunkens up, get your second Marine up, make sure you don't die to Ling speed. But you have 100 less minerals, 100 less gas, which is effectively a muta.
Right. Yeah, I think, you know, having 1 less muta is fine when the opponent is much behind you in mutaless. But in this case, you have basically same spire timing, and when the ramp is so well sealed and there's not much to do, yeah, I agree on skipping speed for maybe an extra sunken to just further solidify the defenses when the Goliaths are out
Right.
and can really aggress.
Nice defense there, though. This no sunken decision is panning out good for now. So it's gonna force Rancor to have the luxury of making that second hatchery sooner, but I wonder if it's gonna bite him on his butt later, because now he doesn't have any sunkens, and Zero and Johnny are sensing that and deciding to push.
Yeah, they're in a bit of trouble. I think you mentioned earlier, but you know, being on map and having that map control, having that ball that moves, is very important this matchup. So You know, he pulled his speedlings. Rancor pulled his speedlings to his base. I wonder if he could have kept it at the Terran Expo,
Right.
because if he tried to come out with those 2 vultures, he could have easily caught those. And they could stay on map and keep reinforcing Goliaths and Mulus. So I agree that he could have just skipped speed, but if he did make speed, he should make the most use of it, which is to stay at Terran and try to catch any vultures that try to leave.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Rancor was able to, with Curiosity, kill one of Zero's OVs, and that often is, acutely more in this matchup hurts, because now, Zero has to spend that minerals for the Overlord, and now he's banking gas, which, could be mutas. But, I would say in this position, and just looking at the food group here, the blue team will have a timing, because Rancor took the risk of making 0 sunkens but making a quicker second hatch. If that second hatch production kicks in, so he's mixing in some lings here as well. Zero is making an expo, which I really like. You want to be able to do that, and he has spotters on the map. So they know that the movement from the blue team is coming from the left side, so it's going to force Johnny to come back here. Zero's already got his mutas in position. It's important for Zero not to engage and wait for his ally to come. But at the same time, the blue team is going to be in position here. So Curiosity very smartly puts his Goliaths in a line position, which is how you want to fight these big Goliath versus Goliath attacks. Johnny senses that, so he's pulling back. +1 is done for Curiosity. +1 is done for Johnny as well. So this one Goliath is going to get picked off here. But Johnny's going to have this little bridge positioning, which is very strong. If he can float that barrack, he can take some of the attack down. But this bridge is very strong foothold for the red team. And I don't know if this is a good decision from the blue team to push. Yeah. It's a narrow position. Goliaths have 100% kind of attack situation with that arc on the other side of that bridge. Goliath range is done. He's going to pick off some of these mutas as well. So catastrophic decision there. Probably game-ending decision, because even though Rancor has that second hatchery up, he just lost a ton of muta there, and Zero very effectively fought with his mutas, allowing Johnny to comfortably win the Goliath and Goliath exchange. Johnny's going to push here confidently. Curiosity's in the middle of the map. He's down on Goliaths. He's got a nice little arc here. Johnny going in for the kill. Zero forcing some attacks here. Rancor straggling behind. Alternatively, Curiosity does have the positioning, but he's much less in quantity here. A lot more Goliaths from Johnny. Yeah, the coordination here was so much better from the red team. They definitely fought that more as a unit, whereas Curiosity and Rancor were kind of not as well in syncing their attacks. But yeah, in these ZT versus ET, it's very tit for tat. Even though it felt like there was a good moment there for the blue team, the momentums can quickly change, decisively change, with 1 or 2 bad skirmishes. I think that bridge moment at Johnny's natural was kind of the degree all-in moment there.
Yeah, and I think what you alluded to earlier, which was foregoing those sunkens for more Mutalisks and Lings, it's going to be troublesome here. So
yeah,
if he had made those sunkens, he might have be able to fend off a little bit better on these kind of counters. But
yeah, GG.
Yeah,
GG.
Those good games.
Yeah, for sure. So Johnny and Zero are gonna take it after being down 1 game. They strapped onto their boots, or whatever that saying goes, or and they pulled back. Very nice comeback there from Johnny and Zero. Well done.
Yeah, they really buckled up and turned the game around. Zero, initially you said you were a little embarrassed. I thought maybe he was gonna lose this, but no, you're just being humble. So, well, be good to see you playing again in the next round.
Absolutely. Yeah. To all our winners, so just to kind of recap here of the matches, since that was our last match for the day, the winners who will go on into the next round of the winners bracket will be Boneth and Suzuki, who won decisively against Wave and Izu. It's going to be myself and Banana, Zergboy and Andy, and Johnny and Zero. Really good games today. I was quite pleased with all the games. I'm just kind of realizing it now. 3 out of the 4 were mirrors, right? And then me and Banana was ZT against EZ. So we didn't see ZT versus ZP yet.
Right.
So I'm hoping to see that kind of matchup or dynamic in the next time we cast. But a really good group here of players and teams, and very pleased with the level of play. That was very enjoyable.
Yeah, so I think you had hit the right point. I think a lot of people would consider ZT versus ZP as kind of a unique 2v2 matchup where you kind of see units that normally don't belong if you're playing 1v1.
Yeah.
Like you see Dark Archons, you see Speed Zealots with Templars versus a group of Marina Medic. So it's you see dropships, science vessels, all kinds of cool tricks there that we could have seen. But even the mirror matchups, they're exciting. It's a little bit hard to read mirror games sometimes, just because like nobody really knows what the standard is. But they were still great games, and we were able to tease apart some cool moments, the differences in builds and the mindsets. So hopefully people enjoyed watching these 2v2s, and most importantly, if you haven't, we're here. Message us. We're here on ShieldBattery, also on BattleNet. So anyone interested should hit us up, and let's get this going in the future as well. Zero, thanks so much for hosting these series of events, and I hope these continue to start strong and then continue growing that momentum.
Yeah, I duly express Lei's sentiment. So excited for BSL and everything that BSL is doing. Zero, you do a great job of hosting these events. Thanks for having us. This was really fun.
It was my pleasure, guys. Really great job, and I hope we will hear each other in future, because you are a super Gosu casters, and I actually learned so much today. I'm unmuted for now, so everyone can hear me, but I learned more during your cast today than during like last 2 weeks of playing 2 versus 2. So thank you very much, guys. Very good explanations.
Well, that's good to hear. Are we cut now from the stream, or is this still going?
It's still going, but we just need to say thank you guys for watching. Tomorrow 8 p.m., which is same time, there is gonna be the second day of 2 versus 2, and every next 4 weeks, every weekend, every Saturday and Sunday, same time, there's going to be 2 versus 2 Pro League. So don't forget, guys, it's going to be here on Trovo, and don't forget to go on ShieldBattery, because our Super Gosu casters are there, and many other Super Gosu players. Most of the players who are playing today are also there, so you can meet there and say them that they played a good game and maybe play with them. So definitely go and check out the ShieldBattery.
Got it. Yeah. So just some parting words here. Same time tomorrow, guys. The stream will be up. For those in the I don't have the times. 20 o'clock The military time throws me off, but 20 o'clock for you Central Eastern Europeaners, which is 2 o'clock Eastern U.S. or 11 o'clock West for the U.S. Same time tomorrow, guys. It's gonna be the second day of 2 vs 2, so you're gonna have a whole new set of matchups tomorrow. And BSL will be going on for the next 4 weeks, every Saturday and Sunday at this time. So if you enjoyed today's games, if you enjoyed the cast, definitely tune in, support BSL. Like Lay said, I mean, this has been a long time coming in the 2 vs 2 community. We are a tight niche group. You know, it's never been supported or organized in a fashion like this in BSL, which is the premier foreign league. So to get to this point, it's been a lot of hard work for Zero and the rest of the team at BSL behind the scenes to organize all this stuff. So definitely show your support, follow, subscribe, and all that stuff. It all helps. And ShieldBattery, for those that don't know, is the server in which a lot of the 2 vs 2 ranking system is placed. So if you're unfamiliar, definitely check out ShieldBattery.net. Download the app. All you need to do is create a user login ID. You give them your email. It's a very quick process, and that launcher or that app it basically launches the BroodWar that you already have via the VNet app. So you just need to be logged in on VNet, and then with the ShieldBattery app, it'll be able to do its magic, and you'll be able to play and earn points in 2 vs 2. So definitely check that out. And on that server as well, the main channel, you're going to see a lot of the Super Gosu players, like Bonnet, like Suzuki, you know, and if you have, you know, any questions or you want to try to see how you can do against those level of players, that's definitely the place to go check it out. So thanks again, Zero. This was super fun. I do hope to come back. The only thing I want to do for next time is set up my camera. I just didn't quite think of doing that, but maybe next time you guys can see us in person. And you know, this was really fun. I appreciate the invite.